Trading the foreign exchange market carries high risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Trading on margin, utilizing leverage can carry an even higher level of risk that can lead to a complete loss of investment funds. So before deciding to trade the foreign exchange market or using any of our software alert products, you should carefully and diligently consider your personal investment objectives, level of experience, and risk tolerance. There is a possibility that you could potentially sustain significant loss. You should not invest any capital or trade that you cannot afford to lose. It is your responsibility to be aware of and understand all risks associated with foreign exchange trading and to seek professional advice from an independent certified financial advisor if you have any doubts. Auvoria Prime does not exercise trading authority over your trades. You and you alone exercise discretionary trading authority over every trade.
This MyFX book looks pretty awesome. I am going to assume you're using sniper mode, but I can say this looks really good. Great profit factor. You can see April, it had literally no profits made. It was really slow for you in April. I can imagine going through almost 3 weeks of using the product and not making even 1% would have been originally discouraging, right? And then you can see this customer in May ended up having a large, percent of growth, which really made up for their non-existent April. And June, they're already off to the races. So awesome MyFX book. Congrats there, Victor. Thank you for sharing that. Looks good. It's 183% of trades. If you have a MyFX book, feel free to throw it in the chat. It's always cool to see how customers' MyFX books are doing, how they're performing in the current markets. You can see your drawdown has stayed pretty much non-existent so far. So really awesome. Cool stuff, Victor. Slow April, May, and into June. Ryan said, what mode's Victor using? I don't know what mode Victor's using. Victor, what mode are you using if you want to let everyone know in the chat box? Always cool to see. Steven said swing. Steven, if maybe Steven knows that he's using swing. I can't really tell you because I can't see the open trades. I can tell you the history. There's only 30 trades, so it could be swing. Drawdown has definitely stayed super low though. Ron, I'm now using GearBox for 2 weeks and no trades at all. Ron, tell me about that. Are you a brand new user with no open trades? Are you somebody that switched over from Einstein, to GearBox and have some open drawdown? What's your situation, Ron? Tell me about it so I can help. Victor said he's using Ghost plus Real, Sniper, and Swing mode. Ron, if you switched from Einstein, there's a few things to look at real quick. We'll talk about it while we're on this call if you haven't watched the latest switch call. First thing is, if you switched from Einstein, you have to look at how many max pairs you have open already. So for example, if you're scanning all 19 pairs, and we'll just go to a different setup, one that might make a little more sense. Hold on. Give me a minute. Here we go. So if we went over to one of, your GearBox that's say running, 19 different charts, what you would go ahead and do is go to the settings, and I actually got to reapply this one. I just turned this VPS back on. I had shut it down earlier. So I got to reuse my manager, but here we go. If you come in here, the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to see how many pairs you have open trading. So if you came over from Einstein and you had 3 pairs already open, and your max pairs is set at 3, well, GearBox isn't going to be able to deploy a trade anyways. The next thing is, if your drawdown is higher than this percent, you're not going to be able to take a trade anyways. Anytime your drawdown's over 25%, it's going to stop taking trades. So if you wanted to take trades in larger than 25% drawdown, which from my understanding was a lot of Einstein users, you're going to have to increase this. Also, if you want to be able to take a new trade in precision modes with GearBox, again, you're going to have to make that you have less pairs open in your open trades than your max pairs. Otherwise, you're going to have to increase that, Ron. Otherwise, you won't get a trade anyways. So I hope that that can help you figure out why you haven't seen any trades switching from Einstein. Nicholas said, "Hey Tyler, I'll try to make this as quick as possible. I think you're the only person who can help. Back office says there's nothing wrong. I have 3 accounts GearBox. Some of them streamlined. Ever since it recommends certain pairs that are different, the Nicholas, I don't understand your problem, and I don't believe there's a problem either. If Gearbox fell off some of your charts on an update, you just use the manager and reapply it. Other than that, if you're saying that you have multiple gearboxes and they take different trades and recommend different currency pairs for trades, that's completely normal as well. That's 100% normal. So no, nothing there that is out of the usual. I see that something about GBP and ZD and only pairs I really use and they don't show up. I don't know what you mean they don't show up. Do they not show up in the market watch window? That's a broker thing if you can't type them in here. GBP AUD, just like that, and hit enter, right? So I don't get trade notifications. If you don't get trade notifications from them, then they haven't triggered trades in some of your accounts. Maybe they have on others. There's nothing sounds abnormal. If you have a smiley face in the corner of all your charts and you don't have error messages saying trades can't be entered, then there's nothing wrong, brother. All right. How do you use 2 modes at once, Ryan? Great question. There is no way to use the manager to use 2 modes at once. So if I went over to my wonderful handy dandy Gearbox manager here, again, I can apply my strategy. You're going to apply the strategy with the manager that you mainly want to use. So let me go over to this VPS here. So I'll give you an example. I run this account and only has GBP pairs. I run it on swing. And you might be asking, why do I only run it on swing? Well, it's because I'm only running GBP pairs. But let's say I wanted to run swing strategy, but there are some pairs that are volatile that maybe I want to run on sniper, right? So maybe you chose to run swing, but you might look at a pair like USD CAD and go, you know what? I want to run USD CAD on sniper, or I want to run it on super sniper. Well, this would be a manual change, meaning if you're on swing, all you would do after applying the swing strategy is you would go raise the number, not in your manager, but on the individual chart. So if I was to go back and let's just, for sake of easy use, an example here, I'm going to add USD CAD. All right, I added USD CAD. And I'm going to go to the manager and I'm going to reapply the swing strategy. And it's going to go ahead and reapply that to all the charts. And then what I'm going to do is, in order to manually change it, give it a minute. I got a bunch of other things going on down here, so it might give me a little delay. I got Arrow, Neo, and another Gearbox account open on this VPS. Lots of accounts. Same with over here. Like the same on this guy. Let me. Awesome. Hayden, I've been sending about 30% DD for 2-ish months with CAD JPY and USD CAD. Yeah, I would get out of CAD JPY, Hayden, as soon as you can. And as you know, we have eliminated that pair. It is on the worst performing pairs list, as we've talked about. The JPY pairs don't tend to perform very nice. Check out. All right. Nicole said she's in the same mode, which reminds Alexander 3 weeks ago only has 1 pair open. DD's been below 25%. Yeah, you know, if you're not getting trades again, the market's been slow. I'd verify your setup. Make sure you have all 19 pairs scanning. Your max pairs is proper. All your smiley faces are in the corners of your chart. make sure everything's good. Sunita, I've had a couple pairs open for more than a month with about 10, 13% drawdown. Is that normal? Absolutely. Let's cover drawdown real quick, and let's cover normal periods of drawdown. Here's my swing, my FX book. All right. And we're going to look at a few different times through history where the account got into drawdown. All right. We're going to zoom in here. And what you're going to notice, all right, is here's a time where we got into drawdown. We started October 26th. That one we got out pretty quick. Here's another drawdown. We started November 13th. It took us till December 7th to get out of that one. Here's one that started February 2nd, even took a loss. All month was in drawdown. Look at this one, February 2nd to the end of the month. Took a loss, was in drawdown for 3 weeks, and then boom. So drawdown for a month, then profit. Same concept here. I'm in the same boat. April 27th, this drawdown opened. It's been open for more than a month now. Some trades closed, still in 2 pairs myself. Waiting on a swing to get out of EuroCAD and CHF JPY. So yes, is drawdown expected? Is drawdown going to happen? Absolutely. And can you hold it for a long time? Let's show you some more accounts, right? Let's take a look at this account, which has gotten into drawdown at different times and made it out. This is an account that was running 6 max pairs, a little riskier on a $1,500 balance on swing account. And, you know, there was a time where it got into drawdown November 19th, and we didn't get out of that drawdown until March. This was a 3-month period of drawdown. Even took a huge loss from here, 80 down to 48, back up, and now at new all-time highs. Right, we were at 80, now we're at 88. So the point is yes, there's going to be periods of drawdown. There might be a losing month, a losing week every once in a while. But how does it handle risk? This was 6 max pairs and swing on a 1,500 euro account. I mean, with the default settings, profit factor still over 2. So again, you know, the goal is to be profitable over time, long-term, and win, not to hit it out of the park, gamble, and then lose all your money. And that's why GearBox precision modes are designed the way they are, to be able to handle volatility. And you can see that they do a great job at that, even if you end up in some DD for a little bit. Mariska, DD since December 21st, AUD JPY refused to sign divorce papers. You know, AUD JPY is just, these JPY pairs are my least favorite thing these days. I really despise them. And I'm sad that it took me so many years to start to just say, you know what, why trade the JPY pairs? I can't tell you how many trading accounts, and thankfully GearBox, you know, has now designed that if you just leave it alone. And I can tell you my biggest mistake with any account of mine is the accounts that always make it and survive are the accounts that I never mess with. I don't intervene. I don't manually start raising balance protections, taking manual trades, stacking orders. I just let it sit. I let it do its thing. They work. It'll eventually do what it needs to do if you have proper risk management. But again, if you put too many max pairs or get a little too risky, and you can see this one, I've been decreasing typically. It's not always stayed at 6 max pairs. On volatile weeks, I go to 4 and try to eliminate some if I can. But the point is, you know, keep your risk where it needs to be. Follow Cliff Notes, and JPY pairs, never again. Besides EJ and CHF JPY, and even then CHF JPY, you know, might be on the poop list too here with me. Not so much. It's still profitable. Some of the other ones not so much. Let's see. Is it recommended to close the gross trades at the end of the week or leave them open? Ron, actually, if you look inside your settings, you'll notice that there is a great setting. And I was going to show you how to manually change to switch a strategy. So we applied swing here on this chart. Now all we would do is you would come in here, you'd be able to go to your inputs, and you'd be able to go here and just increase this. So right now it's on swing, 2 and 3 makes it sniper. 3 and 4 makes it super sniper. That's the only changes you'd have to make. So if you wanted to change certain pairs to be on different strategies, you would essentially just manually go raise those individual pairs by the number you want to get the strategy or the entry that you are looking for. So I hope that answered your question for using 2 different modes at the same time. Boom. If you were not on last week's call, I do want to cover as well the future. This is going to be GearBox 1.01. My Photoshop skills aren't the best, but what you're going to notice in differences between normal version 1 and 1.01 is you're going to notice that we moved the balance protection down here and we moved the ghost gears up here. The reason for this, and 1.01 won't roll out today. I'm just showing you what's coming. It's very, very near. This will be the last major update to GearBox for at least the next 90 days. It's going to be the 1.01 update, but the ghost gear is going to get relocated up here to give you a better visual of where your ghost gears are on the UI. You're also going to get an enter now button because there's many people that they'll see, for example, like GBP on a level 5, and maybe their entry is at level 6 and you're just impatient and you don't want to wait. Well, you can go ahead and hit enter now, and it's going to start that sequence for you. The next changes in version 1.01 are going to have to do with correlation. Right now, you'll see that we added the correlation filter, but the correlation filter is only based on the daily time frame data currently. And it's only based on 85 and 85. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. Give me a second here. So with the correlation filter, currently it's only based on the daily time frame, and it's based on negative 85 and positive 85% correlation. Now, what we're going to be adding into version 1.01 is we're going to allow you the ability to choose between 1 day correlation, 4-hour correlation, and 1 hour correlation. We're also going to give you the ability to toggle between 75, 85, and 95, both positive and negative correlation. So you're going to need 2 more options. That's going to be the last major update for at least the next 90 days, where we work on some of the more advanced features we want to work on, such as trailing stop losses on all levels, advanced hedging engines, many more things to come, the GearBox simulator, but that'll be one of our last big updates for that period. Now, there is something else magical that does exist, and I'm going to show you. And this is a developer tool that was designed by actually one of our amazing affiliates. He designed a very powerful tool that I'm going to show all of you now. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to go ahead and open up CHFJPY a second time. So this tool, what you're going to do is you would essentially open whatever chart you want to look at a second time. So in this case, I just opened this chart on the 1 hour time frame, and you're going to get these cool new tools. I'm going to roll these out as well with the 1.01 update. But the first thing is going to be your level predictor. This is really cool. Now, it's not always going to be accurate because, again, there's different things that can happen in the market, but it's a good tool to give you a prediction. So first thing is you have to double click this white line and you have to drag it to where you think level 0 might have been. And then it should, one of your lines will line up with your first entry. So in this case, my first entry on CHFJPY was a level 2. Okay. So I'm going to put this here, and what do you know? This was level 1. This is level 0. That's level 2. I was spot on with my guess. And you can see that pretty much this tool has been pretty spot on with where GearBox is entering its next levels. So you can see that this was 0. Here's 1. Here's 2. That's where we took our first entry. This is 3. Here's 4. 5. Now, what's cool is you have something a little bit extra here, and it's kind of hidden for us in the current moment. And the reason I say it's kind of hidden, um, I'm trying to find our hidden break-even line right now, actually. Oh, I know it's not in this tool. So to add the break-even line, we're going to add the predicted TP and stop loss. So this is something else you can use to get an idea of your risk, and you're just going to hit OK. And what it's going to do is it's going to give you the ability to modify where your TP line is here. So right now, this is going to tell me that when these trades take profit, it's looking to catch about $318. Now the stop loss, I have to move that line, but I can't really move it because I can't see the stop loss on this time frame. So I would have to adjust the time frame. And how you do that is, again, yeah, double click and adjust, but I can just move the stop loss off the screen for now and know that, hey, it's I can't see it anyways on this hour time frame. So you can already see my stop loss is pretty high, as that is GearBox's strategy. It's more of a swing trader, but you can see the TP. We're going for $318. Now you actually know what your take profit is you're looking for. The next thing you'll see is this line right here, which is known as your break even line, right? So I know my take profits here, but now I also know my break evens here. So this is a really cool tool to help, users be able to mark up their charts, better understand where their next entries could be taken, better understand their break even, also better understand their TP and stop loss. If we go to say the H4, it's going to remove all these lines for me. I'm going to have to readjust them all, or even the daily. Yeah, you can see stop loss still isn't even on the screen, even on the daily. So your tool's not always going to work, and I can't even work with this right here. But you get the point. Really powerful tool, and very excited to roll that out again, so you can move it, use it, modify things, and use them to your discretion. And we'll have videos on this because again, it doesn't automatically go where they need to go. You got to move them into the right positions to understand exactly what's going on. But one other thing too is there is a little script. Let's say that you decide that you want to change your take profit or stop losses. Maybe you want to move your take profit to the break even line. Oops. Leave that there. Maybe you wanted to move this this TP to your break even line. Oops. There we go. I'm just trying to move this chart with this line. Once you put the line on the TP, it becomes a pain to move it because now you're just clicking everything but the line that you want to move. So that is one of the downsides here. Yeah, I'm just moving TPs right now and not the actual TP line that I want to move. It becomes easier if you go on lower time frames. Lower the time frame makes it easier to get these things to move. In this case, that time frame is too low. Can't even move with it. All right, let me go back to the chat here. Not seeing anything too exciting there. Let me go to the Q&A. All right. Well, let's go ahead then and get right into looking at the news for the week, talking about what's going on. Obviously, today is NFP. NFP is always a more volatile news event and day. So for those of you finishing up today, hopefully starting to go in many of your favor for markets and trades starting to swing. As always, sometimes you're just going to be in some nice swing trades with GearBox's strategy that can take some time to play out. Now, when we take a look at the upcoming week ahead, you can see that we have a very normal week I would say, pretty much through up until Wednesday, meaning that it's a lot of yellow folder news. Yellow folder news is good. It's ranging conditions. It's great for intraday. Precision, it can be great for as well, at least on swing strategies. Red folder news typically is more needed to get you into sniper positions or even swing sometimes. In which case you'll see Wednesday we have some Canadian news. We have red folders there. Thursday we have some Euro red folders and USD red folders. And other than that, there is a lot of G7 meetings all this week that do affect everything. This is yellow folder, but G7, I would say, is more of an effective yellow folder as well. And there's been a lot of those meetings. You'll see one starting, June 5th as well on Saturday, all day. And let's take a look at the chat. Christopher Costello, NFP, hit my TP in Euro USD, instant entry. Awesome, brother. That's great news. Love to hear that. Intraday, people have been loving intraday. You just, again, you got to just run it, be safe with it. As I tell everybody, if you're going to use intraday modes, make sure you also have a precision account, because those weeks where intraday mode's hitting it out of the park and precision super boring are going to be the weeks where when intraday mode has you in some DD, precision mode's taking all the best entry trades. So it's good to have both and mitigate your risk and have, both strategies running. But with that being said, I'm not seeing any more questions or chats in the box based on this week. I'm going to be sticking to the normal rules of thumb, such as a 0.01 per thousand on precision strategy, 0.01 per 3K on intraday modes. And if your balance is over $10,000 to $25,000, I would start to scale back to 0.01 per 2K on precision modes, even up to 0.01 per 3K. And on intraday modes, scaling all the way back to 0.01 per 5K as your balance grows over $10,000 to $25,000. But with that being said, thank you all so much for spending your Friday morning with me, or if you're in another part of the world, maybe your Friday evening or even your Friday night. I know we run a global business here, and I appreciate every single one of you tuning in live with us today, and look forward to seeing you in the next one. Have a wonderful day, everyone.